TV gets a party line vote of confidence for his economic plan.
Plus, Hollywood cranks out a record number of movies and gets ready for its biggest summer ever.
And shopping the right way. And Dr. Bob Arnott's Food for Health report. All that and more on CBS This Morning. This morning, we'll be looking into the Clinton notebook to see if the president's really doing as badly as some people think.
Mark is on assignment in France. We'll check in with him on Monday. Tom Tasselmeyer of WBAL TV is down in Baltimore. The last time we talked to you, it was snowing in Camden Yards. Looks like it's a little better today.
Indeed, Harry. Indeed, Paula. We've got much better weather spring morning here. We're at the National Aquarium in Baltimore, where we're going to give you a quick tour this morning. We'll also check the weather, which promises to be pretty nice across the nation.
Time now for the latest news today. President Clinton's deficit-cutting tax bill has breezed over its first major hurdle.
But from here on in, the obstacles will just keep getting higher and bigger. Bill Plant is standing by at the White House with more on that. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Paula. The tax bill raced through, or was rammed through, the House Ways and Means Committee with just minor changes. It contains $249 billion in tax cuts over 5 years and one of the biggest tax increases ever, which Mr. Clinton, of course, is selling as a way to pay down the deficit.
I think the American people want us finally to step up to the bar and reduce this national deficit and get it down eventually to zero and get some economic growth going.
Republicans, outnumbered in the tax writing committee, could only snipe from the sidelines.
And they put this railroad track right through the American people's pocketbook to make sure that they're going to get taxed.
Changes in the bill, all approved by the White House, include a slightly lower corporate tax rate than Mr. Clinton proposed and elimination of his proposed investment tax credit. Taxes rise sharply on incomes over $115,000, and there's a broad-based energy tax, which may be hard to sell.
This is an anti-job, anti-growth tax that needs to be defeated.
The tax bill faces a very uphill fight in the U.S. Senate. Meanwhile, Mr. Clinton is in the Washington Post this morning in a long interview lamenting how difficult it is to change things in Washington, even quotes from Machiavelli. Paula?
Bill Plant reporting from Washington. We'll be checking in with you later on this morning for your Clinton notebook.
In France, a half-dozen school children are still being held hostage by an unidentified gunman who has made a terrible threat. Martha Teichner has the latest on the day-old standoff.
Overnight, another child was released from the school, so by daybreak, only 6 of the original 21 remained hostage along with their teacher. Negotiations continued in the darkness. More marksmen took up positions in the grounds of the nursery school in Neuilly, a wealthy suburb of Paris. Sleeping bags were sent in for the children, coffee for the gunman. Bags possibly full of money have been delivered to the site. Police sources have reportedly told journalists the $18.5 million ransom demanded will be released. The incident began yesterday morning. Panicky parents rushed to the school. One by one or in small groups, children were released and described their captor.
He told me there was a man with a gun and something which would explode.
The man's 8-page communique to negotiators, signed HB, is a confusing and frightening scenario for ending the siege. He threatens to bleed his hostages to death and offers to let parents replace their children, quote, in order to submit to ill treatment. A major concern, his getaway. He says the police have to announce his elimination a few hours after his escape. It's not clear whether he's talking about police faking his death or actually killing him. But he said he would use the children as human shields and that he'd rather blow up everything than be caught alive. Martha Teichner, CBS News, London.
In Austin, Texas, sentencing deliberations begin today in the case of a rapist who wore a condom at his victim's request. Vicki Mabry has more.
We, the jury, find the defendant Joel Rene Valdez guilty of the offense of aggravated sexual assault as alleged in the indictment.
The verdict brought cheers from the victim and her supporters. It took the jury only 2.5 hours to find Joel Valdez guilty of rape. There was a time when it seemed this case would not even come to trial. The first grand jury refused to indict Valdez. But after a huge public outcry, prosecutors took the evidence before a second grand jury, which returned an indictment. Valdez broke into the 26-year-old woman's apartment last fall and raped her at knife point. The victim asked Valdez to use a condom, saying she was afraid of contracting AIDS. Valdez claims that request meant consent.
She told me to do her favor, so I did. Told me to put on a condom, so I did.
The victim, who gave CBS News permission to show her face, eventually escaped to a neighbor's apartment to call police.
Okay, so this is in my house. I also talked him into wearing a condom, and the condom is also in my house.
Asking a rapist to wear a condom is not indicative of any form of consent. It's only indicative of a very intelligent, very brave woman.
The jury returns today to deliberate Valdez's punishment. He faces a maximum of life in prison. Women's rights groups predict more women facing sexual attacks will make similar requests and say whatever a victim has to do to stay alive should not be held against her. Vicki Mabry, CBS News, Austin.
We're looking at exactly 6 minutes past the hour this morning. Mark is at the Cannes Film Festival, where he will be reporting from live all next week long. Here with the weather this morning, Tom Tasselmeyer of WBAL-TV in Baltimore. Welcome back. Good morning.
Well, thank you, Paula. Good morning to you. It's a beautiful spring morning here in Baltimore. A great morning to be at the National Aquarium, which is where we are right now, kind of overlooking the gray and harbor seal exhibit. This is one of the free exhibits. Anybody who comes down to the harbor, you don't even have to go into the aquarium. You can stop by and see some of the friendly guys swimming around there on a beautiful morning in Baltimore. And in fact, the national forecast today will show you that most
in Bosnia this weekend, Bosnian Serbs will vote yes or no on what could be a meaningless peace plan. Meanwhile, the fighting continues. Our own Bob Simon has been to the front this morning. He has returned to Sarajevo, where he joins us live this morning. Good morning, Bob. Where exactly did you go this morning, and what did you see?
Paula, you can see these relatively peaceful-looking green hills behind me. Well, the front line is less than a mile from here. It's in the other direction. And it's an incredible wasteland. It's, in fact, when you're walking through there, it's difficult to know what they're fighting about. The whole area has been decimated. I was there last July, and the buildings had been damaged then. They'd taken considerable hits from artillery and tanks, but it still didn't prepare me for what I saw today. The extent of the damage over the last several months is just mind-boggling. There's a ceasefire there today, and in Bosnian terms, in Sarajevo terms, it's a very effective ceasefire. There was some sniper fire, but that's just sort of daily activity here, whether or not there is a ceasefire. A UN soldier was hit, not a UN soldier, a UNHCR, a refugee relief worker, was lightly wounded by a sniper just about 50 meters from where we were. And so it goes, it continues. The soldiers who we spent time with this morning, when we discussed the various options that are being considered with them, they didn't hold much stock. They figured that of all the options that the Americans still say they're considering, lifting the arms embargo is the most painless and therefore the most realistic that the administration might actually opt for. They weren't very enthusiastic about that. First of all, they believed that the minute that such an announcement were made, the Serbs would open up with everything they had. They wouldn't wait for the Bosnians to get arms, of course. They'd just unleash all the destructive power at their disposal onto Sarajevo and the other enclaves. And also they figure that any arms they would get, the kind of sophisticated arms they need, they don't know how to use, and they'd have to be trained for them, and it would be such a long time, it wouldn't really be worth that much. What they want are airstrikes, but they're beginning to realize that the possibility of that looks increasingly dim.
There are reports of intensified fighting in other parts of Bosnia this morning. What can you tell us about that?
Well, the Serbs have launched another offensive on another Muslim enclave called Brčko. Meanwhile, fighting in Mostar continues. I think it's pretty clear that what's happening is that everyone is calling the West's bluff. Last week, people here thought it was rather serious, or that President Clinton was serious and was determined to get involved, determined to put an end to all this ethnic cleansing. Well, all the reports reaching here over the last week are indicating that he's backing off, that the Americans are backing off. So the Serbs are going ahead to continue what they were doing, and now the Croats are biting off what they wanted to bite off in the first place, and everyone is just exposing the various European allies and NATO and the United Nations for what they've been so far, which is totally ineffectual.
Bob, we mentioned a little bit earlier on the vote or the referendum will take place this weekend on the Vance-Owen plan. Bosnian Serb leader Radovan Karadzic says he's predicting a no vote. What do you hear there? What are people in the streets saying about this referendum?
It's probably the only issue in which people in the streets here believe Mr. Karadzic, Dr. Karadzic. You mentioned before that this is a vote on what is perhaps a meaningless peace plan. Well, it's perceived here as a meaningless vote as well. No one thinks that the Serbs will accept it for a minute, and even if they did, no one here would take it seriously.
You have spent a great deal of time in the regions. You have been in areas where you've seen Croats, Bosnians, and Muslims all fighting each other. What do you think the answer is to this tragedy?
Everything that the Americans have considered so far has been I view it as a doctor who wants to treat a patient without touching him. Airstrikes, you don't really have to touch him. Lifting an arms embargo, you don't even have to get near him. We've been looking at these solutions because we realize that to get in there and treat the patient properly, you're going to get more than your fingers dirty. You're going to get more than you're going to get very bloody. There's no easy answer to this question. It's, I think, what everyone has realized now. And it's why no one is doing very much, because to do it properly, to put in the 70,000 or the 100,000 troops that would be required, it could be done. It could be done, but at a cost that no one, certainly not this administration, seems at this point willing to pay.
Bob Simon reporting from Sarajevo this morning. Thank you very much. Harry?
It's 15 minutes after the hour. Coming up next, Hollywood cranks out a record number of movies for the summer. And still ahead in CBS This Morning in our next half hour, Bill Plant takes a look into the Clinton Notebook. Dr. Bob Arnott helps you shop right and bring home food for health. And Evening Shade's Jay Ferguson on Monday's season finale.
3,000.
There's a record-breaking flood of summer movies about to hit us. Hollywood figures it does 40% of its box office between Memorial Day and Labor Day. And this summer, they expect a record $2.4 billion at the box office, if they're lucky, on the strength of an unheard-of 66 movies set to be released. Joining us from Hollywood with a preview is Premiere Magazine editor Chris Connolly. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Harry. How are you?
Well, I guess, are people going to be happy with the choices, these 66 movies this summer?
Boy, Hollywood sure is hoping. Their fingernails will nibble to the quick imagining whether people will go out and see these pictures. There's a lot of careers and a lot of money riding on whether these things hit with the public or not.
Speaking of money, we've got a couple of little pictures of Jurassic Park. How much did this movie cost to make? Does anybody really know?
Well, you got people who can't, add their checkbook, guessing everything from $50 to $120 million. The idea is that this is supposed to be a movie like Software. The movie's not just supposed to be a success, but it's supposed to begin, desires for bed sheets and dolls and T-shirts and action figures. If they can just get Jurassic Park implanted on the psyche of America, no matter how much the movie costs, the thing will make money in the long run just from all the ancillary streams coming in. But the movie's got to be good to work.
Well, let's take a look.
Fences are failing all over the park. Universal Pictures presents. I can't get Jurassic Park back online. An adventure 65 million years in the making.
And Steven Spielberg is under pressure? I don't get this. I thought he was sort of the Lord of the Universe or something.
Well, the company's sort of asking him to save their bacon. I mean, the trouble with this movie is kids love dinosaurs, right? I mean, if you have kids, you know they really enjoy dinosaurs. But in this movie, in the book at least, the dinosaurs were really terrifying. The question is, can Spielberg make the dinosaurs cuddly enough and yet keep the excitement up so the whole family will go and have a good time and it won't be too scary for the little kids? I think that's what everyone's really concerned about. If it works, could be a real cross-generational smash that'll make everybody happy.
With hundreds of millions of dollars in ticket sales. Let us take another look at a clip. Arnold is back this summer.
In Last Action Hero, and it's key here.
Sorry, not yet. Come back later.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So what's the deal with this one?
Well, here's the thing. Arnold's had great success in comedies, right? He's also had great success in action pictures. And never has the twain really met until this movie. And the big question is, does his action audience want to see a lot of comedy? And is his comedy audience ready to see a lot of action? One interesting thing they're doing in this one, they're making sure it's a PG-13 movie. For example, when it comes to the Jack Slater action figure that they're marketing for kids, instead of Jack Slater firing a gun, that's Schwarzenegger's character, he's going to throw a chair. So you get an idea. And I love that about Hollywood.
They really tune in, don't they?
We're toning it down. We hear you out there in Iowa.
Okay, let's take a look at a quick clip of Sylvester Stallone's movie for this summer.
Yeah.
So Wagner crashes.
It's not exactly silk stalkings, is it? No, they're really doing some groundbreaking stuff here. I mean, Rennie Harlan, the director, has really shot this to make it look really exciting. A very important picture for Stallone. I mean, here's a guy who's had a bad run lately, hasn't really found his niche in the Hollywood of the 1990s. And if this hits, if it's as exciting as that footage looks like, then he could be right back on top. But a lot of people are wondering if that's going to hold up. Everybody thinks the action footage is going to be great, but how is the Stallone dialogue going to play? We'll see.
Yeah. Let's take a look at a clip from Dennis the Menace.
Kids are kids. You have to play by their rules. You have to roll with the punches. You have to expect the unexpected.
Dennis the Menace.
That's me!
You know what all the gags are going to be ahead of time, though. Can these people make it work? I mean, we love Walter Matthau.
Clearly an Academy Award candidate, as we can see. I mean, just clear off the mantelpiece. Doesn't that kid look like a young Conan O'Brien? I don't know. We'll see. This is the idea. A lot of the movies this summer are driven by children. Even Last Action Hero and some of the other action pictures, they all have kids in them, and so does this one.
All right, I have 10 seconds. Give me your pick for the sleeper movie of the summer, like Whoopi Goldberg last summer.
The real sleeper, Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore from Disney. It's going to be a hit. I don't know why.
Chris, great to see you. Thanks for your help this morning. 23 minutes past the hour.
Attention, Portland. Stop and listen. The new courtesy Ford is overstocked with more inventory on the way. The entire $10 million selection of 450 available new vehicles is slashed for 72 big hours. For example, a hot new Ford Explorer XLT 4-door with air, automatic luggage rack, XLT trim and more, only $18,995. Or $274 per month for only 24 months. That's right, $274 per month, 24 months. It's happening now at the new courtesy Ford. 122nd at Halsley in Portland, only 5 minutes from Vancouver. Hurry, you've got 72 hours and then it's over.
I'd like to show you an all-natural lawn care product, Thatchmaster. With spring application, Thatchmaster reduces excess thatch without power dethatching machines or old-fashioned raking. It uses a natural protein enzyme to gradually break down excess thatch so water and nutrients are more easily absorbed into the soil. Get your lawn ready for summer now with Thatchmaster. It makes a tough job easier, naturally.
The Thatchmaster is available at Fred Meyer, Kmart, Sears, and participating True Value. Get yours today.
Hi, Dave for George Moreland Plumbing. We recently received a shipment of over 400 Whirlpool bathtubs from American Standard. Our stores are packed and these tubs must go now. All are brand new American Standard designer acrylic Whirlpools, 5 and 6 foot sizes, in the current popular colors, now at savings up to 50% off regular prices. So hurry in today while selection's at its best at all 3 George Moreland Plumbing locations.
George Moreland Plumbing, the water heater king.
Everywhere you look at JCPenney,
you'll see signs of change.
Stop signs.
Traffic signs.
And signs of construction.
JCPenney. And while our changes are a welcome sign,
a sign that's always stood for great values is
JCPenney.
This morning's news update is brought to you by Caro's Restaurants, where we care.
You're watching
From Missouri, the Eldon Middle School 8th grade chorus and band with our theme today.
Good luck on their Get High on Life Day, and thanks to KRCG-TV in Jefferson City, Missouri.
Welcome back to CBS This Morning. I'm Harry Smith.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Paula Zahn.
In just a minute, we are going to take a look at the Clinton notebook with our White House correspondent, Bill Plants.
Then, how do you know you're eating food for health? If you're not sure of what to look for at the supermarket, well, Dr. Bob Arnott will clear up some of the confusion this morning. And the season's last episode of Evening Shade is also graduation day for Taylor. We're going to talk to the star who plays Taylor, Jay Ferguson.
Time now for this morning's headlines. President Clinton's deficit-cutting tax bill is on its way to the full House. The Ways and Means Committee gave it the okay yesterday in a vote split along party lines. U.S. troops may yet join the current UN peacekeeping mission in Bosnia. President Clinton also tells the Washington Post he is considering airstrikes on Serb targets even without Allied support. Serbs from across the former Yugoslavia are meeting in Belgrade this morning. They're trying to bring pressure on rebel Serbs in Bosnia to end the war. Just about 28 minutes until the hour, Mark McEwen will be reporting live from France starting on Monday from the Cannes Film Festival. Right now with our weather, WBAL's Tom Tasselmeyer live in Baltimore. Good morning, sir.
Hi, Tom.
Good morning, Harry. Good morning, Paula. We are in Baltimore, as you mentioned, atop the Chesapeake. This is a lighthouse ship, one of 3 vessels in the Baltimore Maritime Museum. You can hop aboard and take a tour. By the way, this weather segment is sponsored by Fancy Feast Gourmet Cat Food. Good taste is easy to recognize. Check the weather for you across the nation. We're looking for some nice weather at most locations. A couple of sprinkles may be moving through the Great Lakes and some warm, humid air moving up from the Gulf Coast. Other than that, most of the nation slightly cooler than normal. Overnight lows tonight, downright chilly in parts of northern Maine, where low temperatures tonight will dip into the 30s, with 40-degree temperatures stretching down along the Appalachian Mountains, where it is going to be kind of nippy. Paula?
Thanks, Tom. See you in a little bit. 28 minutes before the hour, the president took to the road this week, so we figured it's time once again to take a look inside the Clinton notebook. Bill Plant is joining us now. He's our man at the White House. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Paula. Not much good news for Mr. Clinton since he passed his 100-day mark, and we keep wondering whatever happened to the honeymoon. The president's overall job rating was down to 49% at our poll a week ago, and more important, his handling of the economy got a 50% disapproval rating. So what's up here?
Well, 2 people who study the numbers say that a generation ago, 3/4 of Americans trusted their government. But now
they're down to only 2 in 10, which is about a pretty low rating of people who trust government to do the right thing. Any president would have a tough job. What it means is your approval ratings are going to be volatile no matter who you are.
And a rough economy only makes things worse.
Whenever the country has been in a prolonged period of economic difficulty, people become disillusioned. They have less faith in their political institutions.
Mr. Clinton has begun to sound defensive at times about criticisms of his style.
And I knew when I got there it wasn't going to happen overnight. I tried to make it happen overnight. I've been criticized for doing more than one thing at once.
And besides, stuff happens. Bosnia, for example. But
so before we all jump to conclusions about this is a failure, I think we have to note that what people are looking for is some evidence that he's making some headway on the economy.
While he tries to deliver on the economy, Mr. Clinton is also trying to reconnect with the people who voted for him. And he's doing it with a glance over his shoulder at Ross Perot, with a bit of populist rabble-rousing.
I try to get you to keep being against the lobbyists like you were before you had somebody who'd stand up to them in power. If you'll help me, we'll do it.
Out there on the road, Mr. Clinton is trying to convince people that he remembers that slogan on the wall of his campaign headquarters. It's the economy, stupid. But he's the one who raised expectations in the first place.
Seems, Bill, that Sox is the one in all this who's been pretty darn smart. He's kept a pretty low profile as of late.
Paula, just in case you thought that we'd forgotten Sox in the midst of all the president's troubles, this is a big day for White House First Cat News. The Humane Society has been holding a Sox look-alike contest, and today we'll have a winner.
We're talking 1,200 entries. So we got down to pretty fine points. No chin. Well, he has a chin, but it doesn't happen to be black.
And they're not just looking for another pretty puss. The winner will also be judged on a role model factor. Say what?
well, does this cat represent catdom? Is this cat the kind of cat that Sachs would want as a look-alike? Combined, do they represent the best in feline values for America?
There are 25 finalists. The lucky winner, the look-alike with the best feline values, gets this White House cat bed, built to scale, complete with working portico light.
Well, we have a few other things. Maybe a footnote, I guess you'd call this, a footnote of sorts. Paula, for the last couple of days, Mr. Clinton has been telling the story of a letter that he got from Johnston & Murphy, the Tennessee shoe company that has made shoes for every president since Abraham Lincoln.
They recounted the choices of all the previous presidents, and they said that in one way my choice was not particularly innovative, that 5 other presidents had chosen the same style I did, including Harry Truman, which made me very proud. But they said, you do have the biggest feet of any president since Woodrow Wilson.
Mr. Clinton didn't say exactly how big his feet are, but we, our crack investigators, have gotten this information. We can tell you he wears a size 13C. That's a 13C. Just for the record, Bob Dole, the Senate Minority Leader, wears an 11AA. I don't know what this means.
I'm not even going to hazard an interpretation of that this morning. Bill Plant, thanks. I really thought the light that works in the portico in the cat house was a nice touch this morning.
I like that. It was a nice touch. What size are Harry's shoes?
Yeah, what size are they, Harry?
11.5D.
11.5D.
Not big enough to Bigfoot the president, certainly. 24 minutes before the hour. Next on CBS This Morning, getting the right food for health with a lesson in label reading.
They had something I haven't been able to find anyplace else. It's cream cheese that has no gums or preservatives or anything in it. It's really, really fresh.
In art, taste is subjective, but in life, good taste is well defined. Fancy Feast gourmet cat food, exceptionally moist and delicious. Fancy Feast. Good taste is easy to recognize.
There is one gentle antibacterial soap doctors recommend more than any other. Aren't you glad you used Dial?
Growing, gone. Plants suffer from trouble as varied as nature itself. So turn to the source of advice and good ideas. Ortho. It's our nature to help.
Oh, looks like Betty's got one. Way to go, Betty. Get ready, he's gonna run. Not if I can help it. Gotcha!
Mom's got to keep a line on her kids because she's got to keep reapplying that sunblock every time they come out of the water. But now there's new Copper Tone Kids 6-hour waterproof sunblock. It keeps a kid protected from the sun and waterproof for a full 6 hours. So Mom puts it on and cuts them loose.
Have fun, Billy!
New Copper Tone Kids 6-hour waterproof sunblock. It goes on and stays on.
How do I know which coffee to get?
Just look for Juan Valdez.
Right.
Buenos dias. I just saw Juan Valdez.
Of course. He's on every can of Colombian coffee. When you see him, you know you're getting the richest coffee in the world.
Oh.
If you want 100% Colombian coffee, just look for Juan Valdez. You can't miss him.
This morning's health report is sponsored by Red Lobster, for the seafood lover in you.
All week we've been looking at nutrition and food for health, so how well are we doing? Our CBS This Morning poll found half of the people saying they could be eating more healthy food, but how can you do that? Dr. Bob Arnott is in the Bread and Circus supermarket in Wellesley, Massachusetts, with some answers. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Harry. Harry, this is the town that I grew up in, Wellesley, Massachusetts, and there's not a lot that's changed over the years. This is the supermarket here where my mother's always shopped. It used to be an A&P, though. Now it's a health food store, once the domain of hippies. But these have become strictly mainstream USA. We learned how to shop at one the other day with Anita Covey of Providence, Rhode Island.
What I usually do is I do check around to see whether or not they have something organic before I buy something conventional. So you have to be really careful that you read the signs so you know what you're getting. The organics, you'll notice the prices are a lot higher on the organics, but the reason for getting the organics is because they're not sprayed with pesticides or chemicals or anything else. They do tend to go bad faster than conventional. So it's like you don't want to buy like too far in advance, get too much. Because if you do, it's gone bad really fast, and then you've wasted some money, but...
I think more people are going to go towards the trend of organic foods. It's safer, it's better for the environment, it's better all around.
Cereals. And they put out a really good shredded wheat that's, it tastes just like the conventional shredded wheat. There's no sugar added, it's fat-free. One thing you have to do with a lot of the cereals in conventional stores, well, you know, you have to check here too, but you notice most of the cereals here, it will say fruit juice sweetened on the box, where if you go to a conventional store, almost every single box is just filled with sugar. I just need a ½ pound of the extra lean ground beef.
Alrighty.
There's no hormones or antibiotics, you know, so if you can keep away from that, you know, why not? The prices, you know, are slightly higher, but, you know, they're not really way out. Thanks a lot. That should do it for today. Thanks.
All right, have a good one now.
While we can't change our genes and we can't change the air we breathe, what we can change is what we eat. And that can make a much bigger difference in our lives and our health than people had once thought possible.
It's like putting super gas in your car. You know, it's good fuel. It's worth it if you don't have to go to the doctor all the time.
The food in general, the taste is better. And that's what, you know, I'm going for. It's not just because I'm just trying to be healthy, but basically getting back to the way food should be.
Now, Anita says read the label, but that's a lot easier said than done. In a store like this, it's pretty clearly labeled, and when the FDA does come through with their new guidelines, it may be even easier. Here's the trick. I smuggled something into this store that you'd never find here. You're looking for sugars and fats and oils, but look at what it says. Instead of sugar, it says corn syrup. And instead of saying that it has fat in it, it has partially hydrogenated vegetable oil and or animal shortening. So there's a real art form to learning how to read these things. It'll make a big difference in terms of your health. Harry?
Great series, Bob. Thanks so much.
You're
17 before the hour, a preview of the season finale of Evening Shade coming up.
Now it's Red Lobster's world of lobster. Succulent rock lobster and Maine lobster. 7 great new dinners at very special prices for a limited time. Hurry to Red Lobster's world of lobster.
Country crock churn style. The taste reminds me of Mom's butter on the farm. I loved growing up with that sweet butter taste.
Try the sweet, buttery taste of Country Crock churn style with fewer calories and no cholesterol.
O can be one-on-one. Or O can be 2. O is what holds companions together. O is the new Olympus Stylus Zoom, a weatherproof compact camera with 2 times zoom, so that you can get close to any moment, because very often 2 becomes 4. Olympus, never miss another O.
So, what brings you to Clausen?
I am looking to cook pickles. I'm a pickle cook. Pickles are what I cook. Gherkins, crickets, dill, spears, chunks, chips. You name it, I'll cook it.
We don't cook our Clausen pickles.
You're kidding.
I never kid.
What about shelf life?
What about shelf life?
Most pickles sit on a shelf. You sit on a shelf. You've got to be cooked. I'm your guy. I'm a pickle cook.
What about taste?
What about taste?
We're just kind of picky about taste.
Unlike most pickles, Clausen pickles are never cooked. They're always cold, always crisp, always delicious.
Don't cook your pickles. That's funny.
That was fast.
Yeah, I'm just a grocery animal.
Peanut butter caramel fudge?
Yeah, well, the kids... Never mind.
This isn't Wishbone Italian.
It's Kraft Italian. Thought we'd live on the edge.
This can't be as good. It tastes better.
Sweet and spicy Kraft House Italian with olive oil. It's gotta be the best tasting Italian to be Kraft, America's house dressing.
I love the dressing. Now, how'd you do on the rest? Aww.
Now, how did those get in there?
This Newsroom 6 update brought to you by Ron Tonkin Gran Turismo.
about all these beautiful, affordable Winnebagos, and especially this Bargain Warrior for only $239.13 per month. And the Winnebago Brave, another great buy, and it's only $352.61 per month. Low payments, low interest rates, and top dollar for your trade. Folks, if you want to talk RVs, you want to talk to the RV people here at Gresham RV Center, Oregon's #1 RV headquarters for sales and service.